Look at me, bitch. There we go.
Don't worry, I don't want you to have 7 years of bad sex.
I don't
Like
need
the
it.
fuck?
I don't need it.
Hey, queen.
Hey, girl.
Welcome back.
Hey. Hey, girl. Hey.
Hey, girl. Hey. Golden Globes are tonight.
I know. I forgot that's what we were going to talk. Mm-hmm.
Hudson and Connor are there.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's really beautiful that over
Yeah.
the course of the day, we frequently texted each other just our first names in all caps.
Yep. And also always a period at the end of
Yeah.
it.
The amount of times I typed Jenny, period,
Exactly.
with a video of Hudson or Connor.
Connor's hair.
Connor's fucking hair.
Connor's hair.
I fell to my knees.
You know what
Oh
I need
my
him
God.
in? I need him in a biopic about Patrick Swayze.
Yes.
Mhm.
Also, he should play Hercules.
He should play Hercules. Yes.
And like Hudson should play Meg.
Yes.
Right?
I think they should play all the roles. I want them in everything. They're
And
like
I'll be playing all
they're
the
like
parts.
the one exception to, like, you know how we don't want to see all the same actors and everything.
Right.
That does not that's not about Connor and Hudson.
No,
like,
it's not.
I want them in everything. I want to see them everywhere. All I want is them. I actually said to my roommates today, I was like, I feel like I have like a parasocial relationship with them because I'm like, those are my boyfriends.
My boyfriends are boyfriends.
Exactly.
That's the whole goal.
Challengers.
Yes.
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 Exactly.
No, they looked so good. Also, like at the party last night, did you see the pictures from last night?
Yes, I did. Also, the couple I babysit for was at that party.
I've never been so jealous of two adults
Yeah.
that I don't
And
know.
it's like every time I go babysit, I know they're about to hang out with a lot of cool people.
Did you see the pictures of them with like their hands around their eyes? Because they couldn't see each other. I'm really being strong and brave about this.
We're being so strong and brave about this. Hallie texted me and was like, do you want to hang out this week, drink wine, and watch the finale of Heated Rivalry with me? And I was like, stop talking dirty to me.
What I would give to watch that show for the first time, especially that episode, which is why I walked into Jenny's house today and I walk in and I literally almost fell to my knees in her dining room because her roommate was watching Heated Rivalry.
Episode 1.
And all I saw was like Ilya in bed, Shane getting dressed. And I was like, the way I like gasped and fell to the floor.
Love. I hope you all enjoyed last week's episode. That was the Heated Rivalry.
Yes.
Deep dive.
You know that we did. Hence the reason we're still talking about it.
Oh, yeah.
We haven't moved on.
Can't stop. All right, we're back.
Sorry, I wasn't locked in.
All right, we're back.
We're back.
Same bullshit. So how you been? Uh-oh. Are you okay?
No, I'm like fine. That was dramatic. I'm good.
Okay.
I'm here.
Love.
Just one girl. Big scary world. But it's okay.
Welcome back to another episode of That's My Line.
With Jen and Joss.
Indeed, it is.
Yes.
Today, let's do a deep dive.
A deep and a dive, yes.
A deep and a dive into us moving from New York to Los Angeles.
Correct. What a crazy time. And the time that really solidified us as best friends.
Indeed, it did.
Sorry, I said that so weird.
No, honestly, though, like, because it's so funny. You're one of the first friends that I made in college. And then we went no contact. See, I deliberately did that as you took a sip.
I hate you.
Yeah. We went no contact, for like no reason. And then we moved to Los Angeles.
Yeah. Move-in day was crazy.
So crazy. God. Okay, for those of you that don't know, we were roommates in college.
This is true.
Especially here in Los Angeles. I mean, we were never roommates in New York.
So only in Los Angeles.
So only in Los
Correct.
Angeles we were roommates.
It's okay.
Oh my God, they were roommates. But we weren't supposed to be roommates.
No.
Anyway, random roommate assignment.
Yes.
It was awesome.
It ate down.
Because
most of the time.
Yes, because we got a shared enemy whom we will forever and have been referring to as the roommate. Because
dun, dun, dun.
That's it. Natalie and I had decided to be roommates, and we got moved, I think 4 times.
Yeah.
Before we got moved to Bungalow 5. And because we got moved to a bungalow with all freshmen, and we were like, absolutely not. Not happening. We get moved to another building with this girl that I just knew to be batshit crazy. So I was like, so no, you need to move us. I will not live with this person. We get moved to the same bungalow as originally with new people, and we were both just like, okay, this is fine. And then we get an email from one of our roommates saying, I have a emotional support animal, and it's a cat. Natalie's allergic to cats. So she was like, okay, so what the fuck?
Right.
And we'd reach out again to housing, and they're being pricks to us. And then they move us eventually to Bungalow 5. And I saw the names, and I saw your name, and I was like, oh my God, I know this bitch. I also know the other two. I knew of Sarah. I didn't really know her, but then I knew the roommate. She's the first person I ever met at college.
Yeah. Yeah. Sarah and I were always in Bungalow 5 with 2 others. And then you texted me and you were like, hey, Queen, we're living together. And I was like, hey, no, we're not. And then we were.
Indeed.
Yeah.
And then we moved in, and move-in was crazy because for some fuck-ass reason, all 5 of us decided to move in at the same time.
Yeah, we didn't communicate when we were moving in.
No,
we just told each other the day. We didn't tell each other we picked the same time slot.
Exactly. And that was insane.
I got there first.
Yeah, and then I got there.
Yep. And it was peace and quiet with us. Just
Natalie comes in.
Natalie got there.
Everything's fine. Sarah was next.
Oh my God. So it really was like dun dun dun.
It was truly, she was like, the roommate was last. And boy, did she have a lot of crap.
Oh my God. So much stuff. And like she came in this like tiny car.
Yes.
Like it wasn't like
drove across the country,
SUV,
so she has her car with her dad.
Yeah. But so many things.
Yeah, and it was just, I just remember how overstimulating this was, and like, your dad left, your brother left, my mom left.
Everyone
my mom
was gone.
does it. Everybody was done for. It was truly like a, I can't be here, and like, I was kind of just like, I can't.
People were just filing out.
Exactly. And it was so crazy, and just the way that she just took the whole house and was like, I'm gonna put this here, like putting her beach game in my closet. I was like, the fuck, you're not in my room, get out.
The way she just like little things went everywhere.
Yes.
It wasn't like, let me put all of my things on this one shelf like a normal person.
No.
It was like, what if I put one thing on each shelf? And I was like, what if I killed you in your sleep?
Exactly.
Brother. Yeah,
you know?
it was wild. And I think I knew right from move-in, I was like, this is going to be a time.
Did you not have a feeling before move-in? Like,
no, I
hearing
did.
of her?
I did. But as much as I am like a hater to my core,
of course,
I try to give people the benefit of the doubt where I had only ever heard of her. I'd never met her. And we did have that one FaceTime, the 5 of us, before we moved. And
she was fine in the FaceTime.
Yeah. I was a little like, definitely not my cup of tea, but like probably will be fine. I don't know. Because she was relatively fine. But right from the jump on moving, and I was like, yep, I was right.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, not. It was just a lot, and I get overstimulated really easily, and I was like,
yeah, it was an insane day. And I honestly don't even remember any conversation that I had other than Natalie's mom coming up to me being like, why is her crap in your closet? And I was like, because she just like put it there and I didn't have all my stuff. Natalie's mom was like, take it out, this is your closet. So I just moved it somewhere else in the house. She never mentioned it to me, but
you put it on a communal shelf like a normal person.
Yes. Who the fuck thinks it's okay to just put your stuff in other people's closets? Like,
considering
it's like I opened my circus and somebody else's monkeys were there.
No.
Get out of my space.
Like, let's take into consideration the amount of spaces she passed by doing that. 1, her personal closet. 2, her personal dresser. 3, communal shelves that we each got a shelf from. 4, my closet, which like I wouldn't have been okay with, but it would have made more sense. 5, your closet.
Yeah, the full fucking living room.
Yeah.
This bitch. Don't piss me off. No, moving to LA and like moving from New York, it was so different.
So different.
Like the campus was so different, and the vibes all around. I was truly like, I had no idea what was going on at any given point. I was so lost. Because also I jumped semesters and I was like taking like 20 credits each semester so I could just get the fuck out of there.
That first week was just so weird. Because it was like, yes, it's technically the same school, but it's not. I felt like I was like starting college again.
Yeah.
As a freshman, even though I wasn't.
Because also, like, the AMDA LA campus is a college.
Yeah.
It's not a conservatory like New York, you know?
But
So it was
still
truly so different.
not a college like my first college. It was like somewhere in
Yeah.
between. And I was just like, can I stop moving schools?
Yeah.
Like, can I just stay in one place?
Honestly, yeah. I
Yeah.
did love, and this is something that I will say until I die, like the cafe food
Oh, so much better.
compared to New York. I remember like making friends with Jimmy and Toter and everybody, and like meeting Jimmy, and he just has fries and a burger, and I was like, where the fuck did you get that? And he was like, at the cafe. The fuck, you know, like he's like,
Right.
bro, you're a junior now, and I'm like, technically I'm a senior, but I have never seen this.
Right.
And then seeing nachos later. Those nachos.
Oh
Before
my
you
God.
graduate, I'm gonna come hang out, and we're gonna have.
Yeah.
Let's have one last Piazza dinner.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very basic cafeteria food.
Yeah.
Like there's one hot meal a day, and then there's a grill in the afternoon. And
Right. I think our bar is just on the floor because in New York it was like your options are food poisoning or food poisoning.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you had to pay for it.
Yeah.
It was so crazy.
Yeah.
I cooked a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just say I cooked a lot.
Cafe was so much better, and I did
Mhm.
like the feeling of it being a little bit more like a campus.
Yeah,
Like I liked being able to go outside.
sitting outside,
Yeah.
like eating outside. I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
Loved it.
Yeah, and like
And also like meeting Aviv. I love that man so much.
I love him.
But I also fucking hate his ass. You know?
Well, yes.
But it's a good
It's a good
relationship. And I'm like, he came to Iceland this summer. Yeah. We actually like in my first class with him, he I mean everybody looks at my last name and they're like, "Is that Scandinavian?" And I'm like, "Nope."
Or
But then everybody's like trying to say it. I get the ick. And am I a prick for feeling like this? But like I get the ick when people try to say Guðmundsdóttir the correct way. And they're just like Guðmundsdóttir. And I'm like, stop throwing up. Stop screaming. It's not German. Fuck off. Am I a prick for that?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Because you also, anytime someone tries to pronounce your last name, you give them a very easy way to pronounce it.
Yes. Good
So,
Moon's daughter. Gudmundsdóttir.
Yeah.
Very simple.
And
Say
so
it
the
that
fact
way.
that you do that, and then it's when people like, it's almost like they're trying to impress you.
Yes, and I
But it's
don't
not-
give a shit.
But you don't care. So
I don't
yeah,
care.
I get what you mean.
Also, you're not gonna say it the correct way.
Right.
It's just gonna irritate me, and you're never. And then this happened in New York so often, where people would like forget how to say it, and instead of asking me, they would just be like, and I'm like, the fuck?
My guy.
Bless you, I guess. Like the fuck? Just say Jenny G then. I don't give a shit. Just say
Yeah.
my first name. I don't give a shit. Anyway, what was I talking about? Aviv. But I remember like it was the conversation of like my last name, and he was like, "Oh, okay, Iceland," and then he's like, "Hey, my wife and I are going to Iceland next summer," and we started talking about the hot dogs.
Right.
Because Iceland has the greatest hot dogs in the world. If you did not know, and I will fight you on this.
I don't like.
I
hot
will.
dogs at all.
Well, that's so fine because you don't eat meat.
No, but I trust.
Fight me. Like, fight me on this, actually. He actually did come to Iceland this summer.
Yeah.
And it was so fun seeing him and his wife. Like, his wife came up to me immediately. I've never met her, and she just gave me the biggest hug.
Oh.
And then he's, like, walking out of the hotel and just looks at me and just gives me the finger.
Yeah.
In the middle of the street, just goes, and I was like, yeah. And then he's like, good to see you, kiddo. And, like, gave me a big hug. And I was just like... And then I like, walked them all around the city, and what was fun was like I was just gonna take them to the hot dog stand and give them free hot dogs because I get free hot dogs there, and they loved the hot dogs. And like I'm a firm believer in you gotta have the Icelandic hot dog with a carton of chocolate milk. It's a special you won't get it, and that's okay because you also don't like meat, but it's a combo that works, and it's really good.
Sure.
I would never do that here because ew. But like specifically, ein pulsa or kokomjölk. That's the deal. And Aviv was very intrigued by this chocolate milk, and he loved it. And then coincidentally, it was there was like a street food festival in Reykjavik that weekend. So like I was gonna go meet my friends there, and they were just like, "We'll tag along," and I was like, "Fuck yeah!"
Yeah.
And like he meets my best friend Julia, and I was like, "Yeah, this is my least favorite teacher," and he was like, "Yeah, she was my least favorite student," and I was like, I know better than that. It's exciting, and it was great, and I just that man, like, if you didn't like Aviv, you have a problem.
Yeah, you're the problem.
Because he's real as fuck. Loved him.
So there
loved
were,
working with him.
Although the campus felt very different, there were specific teachers that were like a saving grace.
Oh,
where I was like,
yes.
okay, sure. But it was just still, it was so different. And I mean, there are things I like about the LA campus more that I prefer, but
Like what?
I mean, I do like, I like going outside
True.
because we would be stuck in 61st from like 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. and you'd never see the sun.
Mm-hmm.
So I do like being able to go outside. I do like that it feels a little bit more like a college campus with like the piazza and the
Agreed.
cafe. Feels a little bit more open. I like that we actually have productions in LA.
Yes.
That's fun. I love the student vision department. That's fun. But
I never really understood the student vision. Nobody ever told me about it, so I truly did not know what it was. What
I
is
think
it?
I heard about it from Jimmy first.
Yeah.
But it's just like the department where you can submit your original works to get possible mentors on it, or in Jimmy's case recently, as he submitted his play, worked on it for I think 2 semesters, and then submitted it to like be put on. So now we're working on it to put it on in a
Nice.
couple weeks. But so I liked that there was the option to like express yourself a little bit more.
Yeah.
And be a little bit more of a creative and less a student.
Mm-hmm.
But on the flip side of it, I don't love the way that like I don't love the classes all that much.
Really?
I guess it's not that I don't love the classes. I just feel like some of them are a bit redundant. I don't think there's a good communication between the New York campus and the LA campus
I
in terms of
agree.
a curriculum.
100% agree because
Because
a lot of the
there's
stuff I will say a lot of the stuff that we were doing I was like I kind of feel like I've already done this. Why are we acting like this is new information?
Yes, and that's what I hate is when it's being told to me as if I'm 5 and I've never
Yes.
done it before.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, lo and fucking behold, I just did all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't get me wrong, I loved doing reels, for example. I loved doing
Oh,
reels.
that's a good one.
I loved
Yeah.
working on it. But we had our film projects in New York.
Yeah. I'm just like, hey,
And
I mean, we're getting more
we got more
footage.
footage. That's what I'm saying. Is
That's great.
I'm not going to complain. We got more footage. Leo's great. I love him. You know, you
Mm-hmm.
got to write your own stuff. But sometimes when things were being explained about reels, they were acting like as if this was the first time you're ever doing like a professional film project.
Mm-hmm.
And like what was funny is like Leo was reviewing my reel the other day, and I have clips from my New York film project in there, specifically the one Kennedy and I did outside of Grand Central.
Oh, that was a good one. The fact that you guys got to go to Grand Central and shoot, I got so mad because we had like a barrier of like areas that we could go to, and I'm like,
it was Rob. We pitched it to Rob, and Rob was like, I'm gonna go like above on this one and make sure we get to Grand Central because we pitched like the whole idea to him, and he was like, yeah,
love.
So I love him.
It
for
was
that.
cool.
But point is like Leo was watching my reel, and for example, in my reel, the first 2 clips are from the ones I just did with Leo, but then the second one is this one outside of Grand Central, and Leo like watched like 3 seconds of it and paused and was like, where the fuck did you do this? And I was like, it was my New York film project. And he was like, you did this at AMDA? And I was like, yeah, in your 4th semester you do like film project. And he was like, you filmed outside? Like as in like just on the streets of New York. And I was like, yeah, I was outside of Grand Central. And he was like, that's so fucking cool. And then like kept watching.
Or I had this exact same conversation with him.
I believe it. About your one with Kirsten?
Yes.
Yeah.
God, this man, he doesn't pay enough attention. I love him though. Leo.
So
love.
So it's just things like that. You know what I mean? Where some of it, it's not that I don't appreciate it and I'm not having a good time doing it. It just some of it feels a little bit redundant.
Yeah.
So that's why my entire 8th semester I've been like, can I be done yet? Like,
yeah.
Because I don't really feel like I'm doing anything new. I'm appreciative of getting more footage. I'm appreciative that I get to do another showcase of sorts. I'm totally good to take another auditions class. I don't,
I will say the auditions class in LA was better in my opinion.
Yes, it was.
I did not get anything really from the one that we did.
Well, which one?
The auditions one. Self-tapes, I got like self-tapes with Jorge.
100%.
I got so much information from him because also like immediately it was engraved in my brain, start a self-tape with an action and end it with an action.
Yeah.
Because otherwise a lot of people just start their self-tapes with just waiting for the line.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing he showed us, he probably showed you too, his self-tape for Law and Order. Where he's like moving the boxes and he's like, look at that, guys. And it just looks like he's already living in a world. And I honestly, like, I've even heard this from Uta Hagen, like, starting a scene with any small action will immediately ground you way more and just set you in the scene. Like, if you walk onto stage and just fix your belt ever so slightly, you are more in the reality of that scene.
Yeah.
Right then and there.
Absolutely. I fully agree. I definitely think LA auditions is more beneficial than New York auditions, but New York self-tapes
was
feels about the same as LA self-tapes. So I'm appreciative to take another self-tapes
but
class.
Like,
But it's
Reggie and Esteban.
But Reggie and Esteban.
Reggie and Esteban, like, always. Love them so much. Like, when I tell you, Reggie is like my favorite person to just spot in life. I've seen him on so much stuff too. Like, that man is booked and fucking busy.
Blessed. He was just in High Potential, and like I love High Potential. And I also, watched,
like, I grew up watching Mom. Did not know he was on Mom. Love.
Because I watched, he was in like the midwinter finale and then the midwinter premiere for High Potential. And when I watched like the finale episode, I hadn't had him as a teacher yet. Because he was like 3 or 4 weeks late to our class because he was shooting, because he's fucking booked and blessed.
Yes, of course.
So I'd watched it, didn't think much of it, and then I met him and I was like, why do you look so familiar? And then during one class he was like, oh yeah, like I was in High Potential and like I'm gonna be in the first episode like in January. And I was like, that's what it is.
Love.
You're the guy that died. Like, R.I.P., but like love. So his new one just came out Tuesday and it was really good.
He's also just like the cutest man ever. Like, I would sometimes not pay attention to, because we always watch the self-tapes and everything in class and he gives us notes, you know? I honestly love the way Reggie gives notes. Do you have Reggie and Esteban together, or are you guys in separate rooms? Because, I mean, I was in a big graduating class, so like we were in 2 separate rooms and then sometimes we would combine, but Reggie was my main teacher. He, like, the way he gives notes is so sweet. Like, he will always find some way to compliment you first and then tell you how to make it better. But I also appreciate a teacher that's like, okay, so you fucked that up, and I feel like Esteban does that. So it's a beautiful juxtaposition. I remember sometimes my focus shifted from the TV screen to Reggie watching the self-tape, and he's just so cute sitting there with his glasses, just like, and then like I once watched him remove his glasses to like wipe his eyes or something and then put them back on, and just the smile.
He's just
watching it. He's just like a proud father of all these children that are about to graduate. And I love him so much.
I think that's honestly my bottom line for AMDA, whether it's New York or LA, is that like the teachers are the saving grace. They are just so incredible. And yes, obviously I've had teachers on both campuses that I haven't really vibed with. But I can respect them in the sense that like they're a fellow creative. They have their way. I have mine. If we don't agree, that's fine. But in general, like the teachers are the saving grace. So even though the LA campus felt so different, and there were a lot of things that I was like, I don't know. I prefer this in New York. I prefer this in LA. Like, bottom line, like the teachers eat down.
Yes. Did you ever work with Paul Perry?
I'm working with Paul Perry right now.
What do you think of him?
I'm obsessed.
What's it like working with him?
His most recent development as of today was him squealing, throwing his arms into the air, running in a circle and giving me a hug, which is so not Paul Perry.
The money I would pay to see that.
Because I cut something he didn't like in the show and he's been fighting me on it for weeks, and I finally cut it and he was thrilled.
And Paul Perry we trust.
To be fair though, what I loved about him is then he was like, I respect you for the fact that you fought so hard to keep it, and I'm so happy you just cut it.
Yeah.
And I was like, trust. I was like, thank you for allowing me to keep it for as long as I wanted to, and then cut it.
Why did you cut it?
Because he was right.
Damn
it! To be fair though, to be fucking fair, and I brought this up, I was like, listen, because it was a moment in a scene, he hated it. With the original scene, I was like, Paul, it works, shut up.
Yeah.
I changed the scene. Then that's when I realized, oh fuck, it doesn't work.
Right.
To be fair though, in the original concept, it worked. It was just a differing opinion. We were very split on it, and Paul was like, whatever, it's just my opinion. Once I changed the scene, I was able to see where he was coming from on it, and I was like, you're right. And so I changed it, and he was thrilled. But I love him so much. He's another LA teacher.
He's one of the greatest people I've ever met. Like, he and Ray Verda are on the same pedestal to me.
Absolutely. They also
These
look
men
similar.
Are like mentors to me. They're also like the same person in my opinion.
They are.
I'm like I would love to see the two of them in a room together having a conversation. The money I would pay for a master class with Paul fucking Perry and Ray Verda.
Gagged.
I'm gonna email Ray.
Ray would never come to LA, but like if Ray came to LA.
But like maybe we get rich one day and we fly him out here just for a masterclass.
And it's just us.
Just us two and Paul Perry and Ray Verda.
Absolutely. I'm down.
Love. I had Paul in my 8th semester. I was taking a 7th semester class.
Right.
But it was in my 8th semester, and it was relevant roles, which is essentially a monologues class.
Mm-hmm.
After showing up to the first class, 2 days later, I got a late casting to the show that he was directing because somebody dropped out, and I was like, weird to find out that the understudy wasn't offered the role first.
Right.
She was thankful not to have that role because she did not want to do a 5-page monologue.
Right.
I will fuck up a 5-page monologue.
Yes, you will.
And I did. Nobody could have played Mrs. Zero from the adding machine like I did. I'm 99% sure it's because he clocked immediately that I was going to be his favorite student that semester. And he was like, I'm going to cast her on my show. Like, top 4 because I don't want to choose.
Okay, Dream Blunt, go.
What?
Dream Blunt rotation.
What the fuck is that?
Like your dream, like people to share a blunt with.
A blunt?
Yeah.
I heard blood. And I was like, now I'm so confused. Whatever
dream
do you
people
mean?
to share blood with, yes.
I mean, I will. No. Oh, yes. Okay, dude. Like, just from LA?
Yeah.
Aviv, Paul Perry, Reggie, Esteban.
Right.
But, like, in general, just add Ray Verda in the mix and maybe Brian O'Neill. All men. That's
weird.
Crazy. It's so not me.
Yeah.
Men disgust me.
Okay.
But not those men.
No.
Love them.
Mine, Tim Cook. Yep. If we're talking AMDA as a whole. Tim Cook, Stacey Gold, Ray Verda, Brian O'Neill, Victor Verhage.
Oh, Victor. Yes.
Aviv, John Berardo, and
yes, John Berardo.
And
yes, John Berardo.
Ooh, wait, let me cook. Oh, duh. Left them out, but like Reggie and Esteban for sure. But then like also Leo.
Yeah.
I'm really thinking of people I can really fucking kiki with.
I would love a kiki with that group of people.
Honestly, and the only woman in that group was Stacy.
I didn't even have a woman in my group.
No, you didn't.
I really was like, I'm even thinking, I mean, I didn't really have that many like female teachers.
No.
But yeah, no, the teachers in LA, I mean, all AMDA teachers, truly, like, that's one thing I will always tell people is that, like, if you're gonna go to LA, you're gonna get good teachers. No matter what.
Absolutely.
But also, like, respect goes both ways.
So this is true. Yeah. There's a lot of differences between the two campuses, but I'm definitely glad I chose to come to LA. Me too. Even outside of AMDA, just I knew I wanted to live in LA. I knew that's where I wanted to end up. And I just knew by going to school here, that was going to be the easiest way to move here as opposed to like raw dogging it. So
yeah, that's the thing. I was never going to come here.
Yeah, that's the thing I'm most grateful for.
My plan in general was never LA. It was always just New York, whether it was AMDA or any other school. When I applied to AMDA, I spoke to my mentor back home who like helped me with the auditions. LA's so far away from home. I don't know if I can do that. And she was like, I mean, you'll have already spent 2 years in New York by that point. So what's another 1 or 2 years in LA? It's just a little bit further. And I was like, honestly, dude, yeah, let me try it. If I hate it, I'll just go back. And originally my plan was just like, I'm just going to go to LA, finish my degree, get back. And then I never left.
This is true.
It was so funny, like the conflict that I had with myself. The conflict that I had, I mean, you were there. You were watching both me and Natalie, like, debate what we should do.
Yeah.
I always knew Natalie was going back to New York.
And I was just like, la, 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 la.
Truly, you were just like, oh, I've decided a long time ago.
I was like, I've been known.
It's Los Angeles. No, for me, it was the fact that, like, I needed a car. That was such a big thing to me that I like couldn't grasp. And my mom was on FaceTime with me and she was like, why are you acting like you can't buy a car? You are a grown-up. And I was like, so yes. You make a good point there, woman. Don't call me out like that.
Right.
And I discussed this with her back and forth. And then I remember I got like a sign in one of the industry classes where like we met with some agent. He said something to me that just like switched. How do you say it? Like,
flipped a switch.
Flipped a switch in my head. Yeah. And all of a sudden I was like, I'm staying. I'm staying. I called my mom. I debated it one more time. And she was like, I can tell you've already made this decision. You're just looking for permission to do it. And I was like, that's not very nice of you.
Why would you say that?
It's kind of crazy when I hate it when my mother knows what I'm thinking before I do. Mainly like the fact that like I felt like I had a bigger community here.
Yes.
I definitely felt that sense of community when I moved here. I really enjoyed the people that I met here. You know?
Well, and I think this just feels more like a community.
Yeah.
In the way that, like, I mean, my best friends are still in New York, but and in New York more feels like a means to an end.
Yeah.
Like, it feels like everyone goes there and then you go about and you do your own way.
Mm-hmm.
That was the wrong way to phrase that. You go about and you, like, go your own way and do your own thing. Whereas in LA, like, most people who graduate stay in LA, like at least a solid 50%,
I also
which is
noticed
more
that
than
a
New
lot of our
York.
friends from New York moved home.
That's what I'm
Maybe
saying.
afterward.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there was just something like calling me, and it was like, stay. Just stay in Los Angeles. And I was like, that's terrifying. That's so far away from home. But then I was like, that's so far away from home. I have no family here. Nobody can tell me what to do.
Yeah.
And to all of my family members listening to this, if any of you are, I still love you. I still love coming home. I just want to live far away. I love being the one that's away because I get to control who I talk to and when. Then I met friends. I mean, like, you and I solidified our friendship. And I was like, oh, I can't leave her. And I was kind of hoping Natalie would stay too. Because, like, imagine the three of us living together. Natalie, you suck. But,
Boo, you suck.
boo. But, like, making friends outside of school, and, like, all of a sudden I was like, I've made a community here. I'm not ready to say goodbye to it. Finding Kylie is my current roommate, and we were gonna live together and find a third roommate and move away from Hollywood, because what is up, guys? All former AMDA students, get the fuck out of Hollywood. What are you doing there? The neighborhood fucking sucks.
I know. That was my biggest debate is in the spring I was a 7th semester and then I took the summer off. So coming back I only had one more semester to do. And like the logical thing to do as an 8th semester is like not live on campus. The fuck? But I was like, I don't want to sign a lease because it most likely would be a year lease. I don't want to sign a lease in Hollywood and be stuck there until October when I graduate in February. So I was like, as much as it sucks, I'm just going to live on campus for another semester. So that way I can like get the fuck out once I graduate. Because it sucks. But the thing I love is like, yes, why do they all still live in Hollywood? However, it is like there still feels that sense of community, even though like some of us are graduated, some of us aren't. Like there's still that sense, like I know, like if I was shooting something tomorrow and I needed someone, I could call any one of our friends.
Yeah.
And they'd be there. And not that that wouldn't happen in New York. That's just not the vibe in New York. New York feels a little bit more like
everybody's
polished.
On their everybody has so much that they're doing that they don't necessarily have the time that people give themselves here.
Exactly.
If that makes any sense.
And no, it does. Like LA feels a little bit more like loose and creative and indie.
Yeah.
Where I can give someone 2 hours notice and be like, can you be here? And I would be able to find someone.
Yeah. I solidified it in my head that I wanted to do film and TV. The logical career choice was move to Los Angeles and stay here if you want to do film and TV, because like New York, it's not the same.
No.
Like it is a theater city. There was just something about it, like theater wasn't calling my name. Theater wasn't really calling my name, and I feel like there's that like feeling in me that if I want to go do theater again, I want to go home and do theater in Icelandic. And like work with my friends that I went to high school with and grew up with, and like work with as a tour guide, because they're all artists. And I'm like, we can make something together. But we're all currently studying or like figuring it out, and we're just starting. And I'm like, I have all the time in the world to eventually go back home. Choosing to stay was hard. And then also like justifying it to my whole family, justifying wanting to live in the States. And it got to the point where I was like, hey, so it's just my life.
Yeah.
I'm gonna come home maybe. Maybe not.
Maybe.
It does not concern you. Maybe. I remember specifically like something my mom said to me right before I came back after the summer, because I went home. And she said to me, because I was kind of struggling with like saying goodbye to people and like everybody constantly being like, are you going to come home for Christmas? And I was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I have a one-way ticket booked.
Right.
And then we see what happens.
Yeah.
It's a lot of like, especially when you're from such a small community and small island, is a lot of the times people feel like the plane ticket for some reason is cheaper for me, or the travel isn't the same length, because a lot of people act like I should just constantly be coming home. And I'm like, if you want to come see me, you can also come visit.
Yeah.
You know? And I was struggling so much with that because I was like, well, okay, maybe I don't have the money to go home for Christmas, or maybe I don't want to. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And my mom was like, the people that really want to come see you, they will come see you.
Exactly.
Trust that. Don't you dare come home for anybody but yourself.
Yeah.
If you want to come home, come home. But she was like, I don't want you to ever think that I'm pressuring you to come home, or your brothers, or your dad, or anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Like, please, for the love of God, do not come back unless you want to.
Mm-hmm.
And hearing that from my mom, it was like a few days before I left, because I was really like, there was the guilt, big sister guilt, you know, just the long distance sister guilt, you know, really hearing that from her was like, I needed to hear that.
Yeah.
Oh my God, did I need to hear that?
Yeah.
You know?
But I get it, because a lot of, like, after my first couple of months here and then I went home for Christmas, like last year, my family was like, oh my God, I thought you were like Miss New York. Like, why'd you move to LA? And I'm like, you just don't understand the industry. And also, as a whole, a lot of my family doesn't understand the concept of, like, guys, you could leave Michigan.
Yes.
Right? I'm like, guys, there's a whole country.
Exactly.
If
there's a whole world, actually. There's a whole world. Did you know that?
But whoa. But, like, even if we're just going to stay in the country, like, there's a whole country. And that's what a lot of them don't realize. So I was like, number one, yes, I was Miss New York, but I always knew I wanted to live in LA. I just knew I wanted to live in New York at some point in my life. So I'm like, I lived there for 3 years. That's a pretty sizable chunk of my life. Yeah. And then I moved to LA. And then the other thing they would always ask me is like, oh, so which do you prefer?
And it's the constant comparing. And I'm like, don't
why?
Make me choose.
No, I can't.
Both. I love both cities so much. If I could have both cities in one place, yes.
Exactly.
Combine them into one city in the middle of the country? Hell yeah. No, actually, I don't want to be in the middle of this country. But, like, combine them into one place in Canada. See? Now we're talking.
And you know what that basically is?
Toronto?
I was like, so we're describing Toronto.
Yes. Maybe that's where we should move next.
I've thought about it.
You and me, baby.
I've thought about moving to Toronto. I've thought about moving to Vancouver. So, yeah. But
maybe one day we will.
And yeah. I would honestly move to Toronto in a heartbeat. I love Toronto. Yeah, it's just there's that constant comparison, and I'm like, I can't pick, because I love them for different reasons, and they're on the same plane in my mind. Yeah. So I can't compare them. And I just knew career-wise I wanted to live in LA, because I've known I've wanted to do film and TV my whole life. But I still loved New York. So I was like, well, let me live there for a bit, live there for 3 years, and then I was like, let me move out here. And honestly, it's the best thing I ever done, because, like, New York really never felt like my home in the way that LA feels like my home. Okay. I loved being in New York, and it absolutely felt like, wow, I live here. Yeah. But, like, it felt like a house, not a home, you know? Real. Where this year, when I moved back to LA, I dropped my dad off at LAX, and I was driving back from LAX in my car, and I was just, like, crying, but not in a bad way. I mean, I was crying because, like, my dad left, but also because it felt like one thing was closing and another thing was opening. Yeah. Like, even though I had lived here for a year before, it was just something about, like, moving here knowing, like, I'm here for one semester and then I graduate and then I live here for real. And, like, I have a car and I have independence and I'm my own person. Like, I don't feel like a student this semester, even though I am. Yeah. So I just remember I was, like, driving back from LAX and, like, sobbing, but just in a very, like, well, so yes, but just in, like, a therapeutic and cathartic way, where I felt, I was like, yeah, so many things about this feel right. And I never felt that exact same feeling in New York. And I don't think I ever realized I didn't feel it until I felt it. And then I was like, oh, no, here's the thing. If someone asked me to move back to New York for work, I'd be there tomorrow. Yes. Tomorrow, I'm there. It's not that I don't love New York. I just think that I'm, like, an LA girl at heart. Yeah. Like, I'm like I got it. Okay.
Are you a Michigan girl with 3 brothers?
That and it still pisses me off. And she says it in the book too, because I just read it in the book, and I was like, motherfucker. I mean, she didn't say the 3 brothers part, but she said, I'm a Michigan girl with brothers, and I was like, fuck you. Love her though. Yes. Let's see how I would phrase this. I would say that I'm a Detroit son. But I'm an LA moon and then a New York rising. And you're so confused, and I love it. Yeah. Because I'm a Detroit sun. Like, I'm very much, like, I pride myself from being from Detroit, and I will always say like Detroit is my home.
Uh-huh.
So that's my sun. But I would say like I'm an LA moon because like deep down I'm like this is where I feel at home. This feels like me. But I think a lot of myself is perceived as like a New York girl. Like I have a very like New York persona where I'm like don't talk to me, get out of my way, shut the fuck up. That's very New York more than it is
Okay.
LA. So that would be my rising.
Okay, so
Because a
does that
sun.
mean I am like an Iceland sun?
Uh-huh.
Wait, no, I'm gonna actually not even say Iceland sun. I'm gonna say Reykjavik sun.
Fair. Yeah.
Because I don't know if I could live anywhere in Iceland.
Exactly.
A lot of places where I'd be like, you will not catch me dead.
Yeah.
I'll drive through to get some gas and a hot dog. Okay, so Reykjavik rising. And then what was that? No, LA. What?
Okay.
Reykjavik sun?
Yeah, so your sun is your main sign.
Okay,
right?
Reykjavik.
Your moon is like your emotions and your sense of self. And then your rising is like what other people perceive you as, to give a very like generalized overview.
Okay.
This is a very LA conversation we're having as well.
Have you watched I Love LA?
I haven't finished it.
Please finish it. It's so good.
Okay, so I've been a little bit fucking busy
with
these
heated
two
rivalry.
fuckers.
These fuckers.
These two fuckers fucking.
Okay, so I'm a Reykjavik sun.
Mhm.
I'm an LA moon and a New York rising.
And we're the exact same outside of our hometowns, like individually being our suns. And I think that says a lot because we are very fucking similar.
Yeah, because you're not from Detroit. You're from Livonia.
Correct.
But like Detroit is home. And
Detroit's
that's the same with me. I'm not from Reykjavik, even though I tell people that. But that's my home.
Yeah. And we're both LA moons and New York risings. And I would say
whatever that means. Yeah.
That was a very LA conversation we just had.
Oh,
that was fitting. Yeah.
Loved it.
Do you know your moon and your rising?
No.
Okay. We're going to have to figure that out for you one day.
I don't know what that all means. I know, am an Aquarius. In general.
I know you're a fucking Aquarius.
What does that mean? Okay. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this for a second, actually. Like, pause the LA conversation. But this is an LA conversation. Yeah. So what does it mean that I'm an Aquarius? Like,
you just are very...
Like, did you know that when you met me first? Like, did you know when my birthday was? Do you remember when I told you? Or, like, I don't get
I wouldn't have... When I first met you, I wouldn't have pinned you as an Aquarius. But now knowing you...
Yeah.
I totally see you as an Aquarius, which is why I'm very curious what your rising is, because I have some suspicions. Okay. Because your rising is what other people perceive you as. Okay. So, but being an Aquarius, like, you're very... And again, I'm very... not an expert on this.
Well, you know more than I do. So
I just know a lot about my star signs and a lot about like my close friends' star signs. So then I use them as like frames of reference. But just being an Aquarius mean? But I think
because like there's a lot about like, oh yeah, Virgo, and I'm like, what?
I don't do well with Virgos.
What the fuck does that mean? When are even Virgos born?
It's like August, September.
Yeah, I know nobody in that area that I'm like, Anyway.
So point being an Aquarius is like, now knowing you as a person, you're very strong-willed and set in your ways, but not set in your ways like in a bad way, like not in like a pretentious or self-absorbed way. You're just very like sure and like confident and firm about things, but at the same time, like when you really get to know you, like you're just a big old goof. And I love ya.
Oh,
so, like meaning like it's like there's
a big old goof.
You are very, you're not like you don't wear your heart on your sleeve. People earn your heart by getting to know you.
Yes.
Because being a Cancer is a little bit more like wear your heart on your sleeve. Being a Scorpio is like, don't fucking come near my heart. You gotta get real fucking close to me.
Yeah.
But with you, it's like generally like a warm person, but when you really get to know you, like you really get to know you. It's like based on my personal experience with other Aquariuses, that's kind of what I've picked up on.
Yeah.
I don't have Aquarius anywhere in my chart that I know of. It's not my big six. So I don't know.
The big six, as if I know what that is. 6, 7. Like the fuck?
I'm going to cut that out for your own digital footprint.
Honestly, dude, you know what I saw on TikTok from a bakery? And it was something called Labubu Dubai chocolate, and the price was $67.
Like $67 or like
No,
6.67
$6.67.
word, like
$6.67.
Of course it
But
was.
like a missed opportunity to just do 6-7. And the sound of the video, it was just a picture of it, and then it was the Moana. I have crossed the horizon to find you.
See, that's funny.
Exactly.
I hate everything
was like,
but that.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I'm like, what is up with the Dubai chocolate? Like, y'all would make your coochies Dubai chocolate if you could. Like, what is up with capitalism that is Dubai chocolate?
Know. It doesn't even look good.
Anyway, back to it. So we had this crazy roommate.
And we're back.
It all comes back to
And
the
we're back.
motherfucking roommate. Anyway. No. Ooh, there's a hole there. Where the fuck are we in this episode?
I don't know.
LA story that's funny and fun and all that jazz. Because we lived with the roommate.
Mm-hmm.
And we had multiple like conversations with her about like, hey, so this is making us uncomfortable. This isn't working, yada yada.
Mm-hmm.
After Christmas, I remember we had that conversation with her of like, hey, we've all decided to not put you on our housing application.
Yeah.
And like,
we kicked her out in a very diplomatic way.
Exactly. But I do remember like the like leading up to it was so hard because it was like, how do we do this without blindsiding her? But there is no way to tell somebody you don't want to live with them without blindsiding them.
Well, and without being like, we don't want to live with you. And also, we actually did our best not to blindside her because we had countless conversations being like, this isn't working. Our living styles aren't meshing well.
Exactly.
We're not meshing well as people. We're constantly in conflict. We're constantly arguing.
Yes.
So really, if you're blindsided then by us being like, and the conversations were always us and her.
Yeah.
So then if you're blindsided by the fact that us don't want to live with you, that's on you.
Exactly.
That's on you for just not being self-aware.
And I do remember like we had our RA come in for the conversation and she was actually like, guys, that was kind of like well done.
Yeah.
Like everybody was able to talk. We have all got our feelings out. And it's just like, okay, now we have 5 more weeks that we're going to live together. And then you're going to move to a different place.
Yeah.
We all live together and everybody's kind of just like minding their own business, and we're all being cordial, which I appreciated. And then come to like the end of the semester, I remember there was like drama between her and Sarah because she had gone to New York and like talked to one of the teachers there and badmouthed her. Right. Remember Showdown? Yeah.
And I wasn't there.
And you weren't there.
I'm sorry.
But like
brief.
Yes.
This is important.
Pause.
This is important. I wasn't there.
Yeah.
I was at Cole's house. Jenny texted me, or like you texted in our group chat, and you were like, Jocelyn, like shit's going down. And I was like, what do you mean shit's going down? And she was like, shit's going down with Sarah and the roommate. And I was like, Sarah?
Yeah, Sarah finally stood up for herself.
Yeah, because she is like the quietest and the sweetest
little
and like
flower really that doesn't really say anything.
She tries to keep to herself. And she was like with Sarah. And I was like, holy shit. And I was like, you sent me like a video and like Cole and I watched it together. Because he knew everything up until that point.
Yeah.
Sarah going at her because the roommate had like bad-mouthed Sarah to a teacher in New York for no fucking reason.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, you can bitch about her to like other peers, but like don't cross the line of like professionalism. Like
that was crazy.
Insane work.
So Sarah rightfully was pissed.
Yes.
And so like Sarah started going off at her and then like you started recording and then you piped in at one point.
Yeah, because I don't want to get too
point is,
into it. But
it was just the fact that you recorded it and sent it to me because I wasn't there. And I'm so upset I wasn't there.
I still have that recording.
At least I have a video.
Exactly. Like that kind of like put like a little strain on everything. And very much so did the roommate hate you and me.
Well, yes.
Especially, I mean, like, you guys shared a room, and there was that whole thing with the lamp.
Oh my God.
There was always the lamp. She would want the lamp off, and you were like, this is my lamp. I'm reading. I will turn it off.
Books. So here's the best part about Lampgate, because that's what we'll call it.
Lampgate.
It's my lamp, right?
Yeah.
Which started with the roommate being like, God, we need a lamp in here. And I was like, ironically, I just ordered 2 lamps, and I was going to put one in here. And she was like, oh, perfect. Because first it was Big Light Gate, where we would argue about the big light, because she was like a big light truther. And I was like, what the fuck
Never
is wrong
big
with
light.
you?
Never big light.
No.
What is wrong with people?
So then I got this lamp, put the lamp up, and she was like, oh, this is great. That lasted for like a week. Then we started getting in arguments about the lamp because like for some reason she would want the lamp off at like 9:30. And I'm like, it's a dim lamp. It's like a dim, warm lamp.
But also, like, when you have roommates, suck it up.
Sometimes you just have to suck it up. It's not like it's 2 a.m. and the lamp's on. It's like 9:30. Like I'm trying to do homework.
Betty, by time. She
like,
texted that to like the whole house group chat once. I mean, we had a lot of separate group chats, but she texted the whole house group chat once at 9 p.m. The ripe time of 9 p.m.
Correct.
You, me, and Natalie were just like chatting in the living room.
Like
Sarah already passed out, as she always is, by 8 p.m. I remember getting that text, like we were just talking normal volume, chatting about life, and then just the group chat goes, Betty, by time. And I was like, what the fuck do you think you are? Get out of my face. You don't tell me when to go to bed.
Pissed me off.
It made me so mad.
So there was that.
Anyway,
There was Lampgate. The best part about Lampgate is the lamp lasts for about a week. Then we start getting arguments about when the lamp gets turned off. And like, I had no problem. Like, I wasn't home and the lamp was on and she wanted to go to bed. Like, sure, turn it off. But then when I get home and I need to use my flashlight to take my meds, you can't get mad at me for using my fucking flashlight. Like, there's no light. And then I'm trying to read my books in bed because I'm 85.
Yeah.
And she would want the lamp off. So I was like, okay, fine. So I bought like a little reading light because I'm 85. Then this bitch starts getting mad about my reading light. I am curled up in bed, like reading my little book.
Get out of my face.
And she's now mad at me about my reading light. Anyway.
The weeks leading up to her moving out, there was drama because she was going to go home for the break and she couldn't move and then she could move and it was all very like, she made it sound like it was supposed to be our problem too.
Right.
And I remember she specifically tried to like leave her stuff over break in the house. She was like insinuating that she was just like, I'm just going to leave my stuff here. And I'm like, fuck no, you're not. You're leaving the key with the RA when you go home for break.
Because also that was the rule. Is it was like you have to, if you're moving between semesters, your move out day is this day, and it was before break. So it was like, no, you're not just going to like keep your shit here and keep your key and be able to access our house. Exactly. So that was a huge argument too.
Yes. And I specifically remember that she eventually like was able to move before everybody left for break. Our semester, like the full semester ended on the Tuesday, and like most people leave like Wednesday or Thursday if they're able to.
Yes.
I had a flight.
So mind you, we both flew to New York separately.
Yes, separately.
But we both flew to New York.
It was crazy. And then we met on my birthday. It was great.
We did.
After going to Romeo and Juliet separately.
Yes, separately.
2 different shows.
Correct.
I went to the matinee, you went to the evening show. It was crazy.
Yeah.
But my 22nd birthday was on that Saturday.
Yes.
Most people would have been gone by then. I was going to New York on the Friday, so I was like, I'm going to have a little, rendezvous at my house.
Yeah.
On the Thursday. Nobody has class the next day. People could just come hang out. I had like mini pizzas, I had soda, and a cake. I did make dip. The dip was on the floor.
Oh my god, Dipgate. Guys.
Dipgate. When I tell you, I'm going to post on the Instagram one day, just a random picture of this dip on the floor. No context.
Guys,
I made the dip, I dropped the dip.
She made this dip.
I was so good.
For this party of 11 people. There were 11 people there.
Yes, and it's a dip from home. And it's called a lizard.
And she made this dip, and she was hyping this dip up the whole night. She was like, guys, my dip. Like, wait till you try my dip. And she even made it in the toaster oven. Like, in our fuck-ass toaster oven that, like, barely worked. Like, she put the work into this dip. And she makes... Oh my god, I can't breathe. And she makes the dip. I totally forgot about this. And she makes the dip. And she brings it into the living. She brings it in the living room and just lets go of it. And just like, drops it everywhere.
Because it's a hot dip. Okay, so it's... Let's get into it.
You need to talk. I can't talk right now. Yeah.
So it's called a lizard or an edla. And it's a good dip. It's very nice. It's cream cheese. It
was great.
It's red salsa and more cheese on top. And then I put some paprika seasoning because that's how I make my dip. And I was very excited to share it with everybody because I'm like, It's my culture, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And as I was bringing it out, it's like piping hot in the fucking tray. And I'm bringing it out, and it started slipping. And I couldn't grab it because it was piping hot. So I just dropped it on the floor, all over, dip on the floor, everybody scared, and then everybody burst out laughing, and I started crying laughing because I was like, my dip.
I think that's the moment that Jimmy and I really became friends, because we were in the corner when that happened, and the way that I like fell to the floor, like, and we were no help.
The fact
Like,
that
everyone
nobody has a video of this is so crazy to me. Nobody recorded the dip being brought into the living room.
No, because
but everybody took a picture of it.
About this dip. It's not a coronation. Like,
I cared more about the dip than anything else.
That was just, it was so funny. But then, to be fair, Jimmy and I were the ones that ended up cleaning it up because we felt bad. Because everyone immediately
and I had to go
was
make
like,
new dip and clean my jeans.
Right, yeah. Oh my god, your jeans were in the sink.
My jeans were in the sink.
Because everyone was like freaking out and everyone was like consoling Jenny and like, it's okay.
Like,
Jimmy and I are being assholes in the corner.
You're being such pricks. And I think some people actually thought I was actually crying, and I was just like, well, no, but like my fucking dip is on the floor, and I was like,
and Jimmy and I were being
and I was also like
dicks.
so scared that like I dropped it on somebody, you know?
Yeah, because it was hot.
It would have given somebody a 3rd-degree burn.
Absolutely.
It was so crazy.
But to be fair, Jimmy and I were the ones that cleaned it up because we felt bad because we were being assholes to you when you dropped it.
Yes. It was the funniest thing that had probably ever happened in my life.
But
and then
fear no more. New dip was made.
New dip was made.
New dip was eaten. New dip was gas.
Exactly.
It was really
make
good.
That dip again. Brother. This is good dip. Okay, go. Time for That's My Line. Oh, you're still eating?
Hold. We were on break. Okay. Whose line is it? I just love a lunch.
Well, that's love a lunch.
And her name is the line.
I don't remember her name.
I don't either.
No,
she is love a lunch.
Good. Oh, bro.
Natalie, who you will meet in the next episode. Little teaser. Natalie had class with this one girl. Nothing against this girl.
No, she's wonderful.
But Natalie came home from class one day and was like, oh my god, like this girl like dropped one of our classes because like
she loves a lunch.
It interfered with her lunchtime. And she said, and I quote, I just love a lunch. Icon.
It was so funny the way that Natalie came home to tell us this story. I have one.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Uh-huh.
So, staying on theme for people that we met in LA.
Okay.
Fuck this to the highest level of fuckery.
That was
whose line is it?
Well, that was none other than the roommate.
Oh, yes. What was the reason that she said that?
No idea. It was such the best part about that line. I was the only person home when she said it. And the context in which she said it did not match her level of anger when saying that. It was something like, I have to do my Duolingo. Yes. Fuck this to the highest level of fuckery. But it was the way that she
fully meant it.
Okay, picture this, right? You're sitting, like we've got like our couches and a chair and a table right all along this wall. If you're sitting in the chair or the couch and right in front of you, like is a little hallway that goes to our bathroom. And then if you turn right, it's my bedroom with the roommate and Sarah. So I'm sitting in this chair. She was in the room.
Barbecue sauce on my titties.
Barbecue sauce on my fucking titties. Because also I like treated us like magnets where if she was in one room, I was in the other. I could not be in the same room as her. Yeah.
You were never in the same room, really.
No. I would move so I wasn't in the same room as her.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting in the chair, she's in the room. She storms in, so she's in my face, says some shit about like, I can't believe, blah, 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 whatever. And then just goes, fuck this to the highest level of fuckery. Turns around, walks back into the room. And I was like, what just happened? And I was the only one home. I was like, guys.
Thank you all for tuning in for yet another episode of That's My Line. I hope you enjoyed it. Also, hope you all enjoyed the heated rivalry episode last week.
That's honestly the only episode I care about.
Boy, did I enjoy that.
If nothing else, I had a great time.
Defeated afterwards.
Oh my god, guys, I just started editing that episode because we just filmed it a couple days ago.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because I watched a little bit of the beginning and then I started editing the end and I was like, we look like we fought a war.
And we did. And we really did. So if
it really is that serious.
If you just listen, like watch the first few minutes and like see how excited we are and then just watch the end.
And we're literally sitting there like, thank you for joining. Next episode is also very exciting.
Yes.
Because we're bringing on
a special
Miss
guest.
Natalie herself.
We have the third. Our third
is
coming in.
Yes.
Tell you all
coming
about
in
her
hot.
next week.
We love her.
Love
We're very
her.
excited. It was a very fun episode to film. Very excited for you guys to hear that.
Mm-hmm.
I think it explains a lot of us.
Yes.
When you add the third back in,
yeah,
it makes a lot more sense.
It was a lot of screaming.
There was a lot of screaming.
Because we also filmed that episode before we filmed this one, because we're crazy.
Because it makes no sense.
And
it makes sense up here. It does not make sense on paper.
But please be nice to us. This is our first podcast.
Catch us winning Best Podcast of the Golden Globes next year.
Putting that into the universe. This has been That's My Line.
With Jen and Joss. That was probably our best one yet. Yes, it was.